Man, is anybody else exhausted, man? I swear, every day is something else. Every day is something new. Good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. I don't know. Like, this has been, even up until this point, this has been the hardest market to navigate, man. This has been the hardest market to navigate. We thought Trump was going to come in, pump our bags. We're all going to be multimillionaires, go off riding into the sunset. It hasn't happened like that. So with that being said, we got to be a lot more tuned in. We got to be a lot more locked in, and go from there, man. Because right now I'm kind of flabbergasted. I always want to use that word on YouTube as to what's going to happen, what's going on. So right now I'm just very locked in, very diligent as to doing my research, doing my homework, and staying in tune to the news and the data that's coming out. If you don't know who I am, I go by FD White. This is FD White Invest YouTube channel. Appreciate you for watching, man. Appreciate you if you got this far. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. I talk about news. I talk analysis. I talk charts. I'm a trader. I'm an investor. Been in this space since 2020. And like I said, this has been the hardest market to navigate. Even when I was a newbie, just in the market, just not really knowing what I was doing, like a chicken running around like a chicken with my head cut off, this is still the hardest time in the market. So with that being said, let's talk about what happened today. We did get an executive order calling for a strategic reserve for Bitcoin that actually sent markets tanking. So we tanked about 4 or 5,000 once we did get that announcement. It did say that they were going to hold the assets that they already have or hold the seized Bitcoin that they already have. They did not announce anything about buying more. They did not announce anything about. Okay, so they separated. They had a stockpile and they had a strategic reserve. So Bitcoin is the strategic reserve, and then we have the other assets or the other cryptos, the altcoins that are going to be in the stockpile. So what people were looking for is for them to announce some type of buy. We did hear rumors coming into the election or coming into his administration that they were going to buy 200,000 Bitcoin per year for like the next 4 years or something like that. That has not played out. So once they announced that the market or that Bitcoin was going to be held as a strategic reserve, the 200,000 that they already hold, and they didn't say anything about buying it, market started to tank. So we're going to look at the charts in a second. That's just a quick preview of what's going on if you don't know what's going on. But people were pissed. People were really pissed. And I think it's a good thing. I think, it's not our expectations of going to the moon, so to say, are so high. We need to be spoon fed these things. This is what I keep trying to tell people in crypto. Like, expectations, first of all, markets are forward looking. So we already think that the strategic reserve is coming. We already think that, or we already know that you're going to possibly or probably hold the Bitcoin that you already have. We want to see you buy. We wanted to see you buy. That wasn't announced yet. So like I said, markets started to tank, and now we're here. So we do have the crypto event happening tomorrow at the White House. So I don't know exactly what time that is. I'm sure it's probably during the middle of the day, early midday. So we're going to continue to watch that. We're going to see. We have some people from different, different chains, different projects going to the event. Of course, we have Michael Saylor, things like that. One person who was not on the list was Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson. So that was mind-boggling to me. But a lot of these American-made coins, which we were talking about heavy before everybody else started to talk about it, we're pumping today, and we'll just have to see what happens, man. We'll see. We'll sit on our hands. We'll see how China reacts. The Asia session is opening up, so we'll see how they react overnight, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But let's actually go into some charts. Let's make this a little bit bigger to see what I'm looking at, because it's really not too much to look at. Everything is pretty much the same that we've been talking about over the past few months. We just keep making lower highs. We keep making lower highs for Bitcoin. So first and foremost, we need to start breaking out above this downward sloping trend line. So this downward sloping trend line comes in all the way at the top of the market, where we topped out at about 109. We hit it again here about 106, hit it again at about 99, hit it again last week at about 95.5. Came back up a few days ago to about 93.5. Now we're getting this little indecision candle to see how we're going to close this week out. And we're indecisive. This is a perfect setup going into tomorrow. You look at this candle, this daily candle, this daily candle, is showing me that tomorrow or today we're pretty much indecisive as to what's going to happen. So tomorrow, I think we'll get a lot more direction as to which way the market is going to go. It's looking bearish. I mean, we are in a downtrend, but it is looking bearish. And on top of that, the U.S. stock market. Let's actually go to stock market sell off. So the US stock market lost about 1.5 trillion today. It says Dow Jones, Trump blames globalists. And that's the thing. He blamed globalists for the sell-off. NASDAQ confirms correction. Dollar weakens as tariff news fuels increase. So it's three different things in the stock market. And we're going to go back to crypto in a minute because I know most people are here for crypto, but in the stock market, you have 10% is a correction, which the NASDAQ is at now, and is below its 200-day moving average. You have a bear market, which is 20% from the high. So 10% from the high is a correction. 20% from the high is a bear market. Let's actually go to it so you guys can see it. Let's go to NDX. So this is the NASDAQ. This is on the daily. So we had that nice double top here. So if we do a measured move from the top to where we are now, we are right now down close to about 10%. So we are in correction territory. And if we go down 20%, this would be 20%, about 18. No, I think, let's just actually do it. So 20% would be from the highs. 20% would be, oh, we would even have to go lower than that. 20% would have to be somewhere around 1770, 18, what would you say, 18,000 for the NASDAQ. So we're quite a ways off. We're about 10% off, but we have to continue to watch this because our thesis is starting to play out. Our Q1, end of Q1 thesis is starting to play out that we've been talking about for over the past 6 months. So I didn't expect us, well, the stocks, I wasn't really, we topped out. Crypto, I thought was going to top out where Bitcoin, I thought was going to at least top out at like over 120, 130, 140. I had somewhere between 120 and 160. We only got to 109, so I was kind of like $11,000 off. But I did expect, it was very anticlimactic, man, for Bitcoin. So we're just going to continue to watch the NASDAQ. And I say this because we don't really have too many more catalysts left that we know of. So if the stock market continues to sell off, and then we have Bitcoin, if anything or nothing happens tomorrow at this crypto event, then I think going into the weekend is going to be very ugly for the crypto market. So Bitcoin right now is starting to recover a little bit from that small little flash crash. We went down to about 80. Where did we get to? 84.7. So after we got the news of the strategic reserve, but they said they were not buying, so market started to tank. So it might be some form of manipulation. I've never seen this market be manipulated so much. Like I said, I've been here about 4.5, 5, almost 5 years, well, 4 years, and I've never seen the market manipulated so much. Especially last weekend when we got the huge sell off, and then we got the news the next day. Like it was just like, no, we got the huge sell off. No, we got the good news on Sunday, last Sunday. Then Monday, we retraced that whole $10,000 move. So all this stuff is weird. We're in scalp season right now, and we're using scalps to get more money. I'm getting more cash heavy. I've told the community, the cool kids, shout out to the cool kids. Make sure you guys go and get in that Telegram. We told the cool kids to start getting defensive. We've been telling and preaching to get defensive. Don't take it all out. Don't go all in, but make sure you're getting defensive. And that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to accumulate and stockpile a lot of dry powder on the sidelines for a crash, for a correction, for a huge correction. We don't know if the markets are going to just start to just free fall, but sometimes they just go down. They might go down 2-3%, might go up 1%, 2%, may go down another 2-3%, may go up another percent. So it's not just a straight line down. So a lot of people DCA into their favorite coins, their favorite stocks. A lot of people try to time the bottom. Right now, I don't think it's a bottom, so I'm not going to start going all in or heavy. I'm nibbling, and especially nibbling in crypto on these American-made coins, these made in America cryptos. We talked about this on the last video. So those are some of the ones that I'm going to be looking at. Going to be watching the stock market, going to be watching the NASDAQ, which is below its 200-day moving average. Let's go back to this. Let's see here. Okay, so boom, let's turn my daily lines on. So We are below, we are at 20,052. So we are below the 200-day moving average. Last time we were below here was like in the mid 2023. Let's actually go to it and we can actually see what happened, because I'm not really super heavily invested time wise into the stock market, but I definitely do not want to get below it. So we got below it in 2022, at the beginning of 2022, like at the start of the bear market, for stocks and crypto, came down, retested it as resistance, and then that's when we really started to bleed. So that's what we don't want to do. We want to pop back above this 200. We don't want to spend too much time under here. We don't want to start really crashing below here, because that last time this happened, this triggered, or this was the start of the bear market, not only in stocks but also in crypto. So right now we're below it. So we do not want to start closing below here, start coming down. We'll have some support here at about 19.7, come back up. This will probably start to curve and taper off, come back up, use that as resistance, and then I think that'll be bad news. So I'm using that. I'm watching the NASDAQ, to kind of gauge what's happening in the markets, not only in stock market but crypto as well. But as far as crypto, man, we all hope, or we all wish that this would just be uncorrelated, that it would just taper off and be its own thing, like gold. Gold is still going up. Why not Bitcoin? We thought Bitcoin is digital gold, but this is what happened when the TradFi bros and the equities people come in and the government start getting in. Like, it's a wild place to be right now. So this is why I say be defensive. It's scalp season. Scalp season. We're taking longs and shorts. We're taking profits from that, and we're stockpiling cash so we can get ready for a crash if it happens. If it doesn't happen, we're not fully out of the market, but we will have some money on the sideline to play catch up if the market does start to rally. And what we're looking at before we get out of here, what we're looking at is first and foremost for us to break this downtrend. We've just been making, like I said, we've been making these lower highs, these lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So first and foremost, we need to get back above this 93K area. Then we come in, we have 95. Once we get back above 95, we inevitably need to just get above that 100K. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I just want people to be prepared, and I want people to be aware of what's going on. So first and foremost, we're below my 20-day modified moving average. We want to get back above there, which is also common in confluence with this horizontal at about 93. And that's been the range that we were in, the 93 to 106K range. So if we can get back in there, then just stay in there. We just really need to stay in there. We don't want to keep closing weeklies below this 93K, 92 and a half to 93K area. So, I'm gonna keep the community updated. I'm very defensive right now. We're gonna have some plans. We're gonna be looking at some of these altcoins. Of course, we're gonna be talking about those American-made coins. The DXY did fall, which was taking a little bit of sell pressure off of risk assets, but we'll continue to watch that. I don't think that's just going to start to just roll over too much yet. We'll have to give it a little bit more time. Ethereum is looking very weak, hasn't breached or hasn't really closed high time frame candles below 2,000. So that is a good sign if you want to look for something good. AVAX hasn't been moving, although it is a made in America crypto. I think this is $20 and below is a good entry point for AVAX. I think AVAX is going to be around long term. Timecoin hasn't been moving. I like Timecoin as well. Dogecoin, these American-made coins. Ondo had a nice run to like $1.20 possibly today or recently, and now it's retracing back to close to $1. XRP, you know how I feel about XRP. SUI, we have some good SUI news. Now we're retracing a little bit. We talked about getting in SUI at $2.50 on that video yesterday. So shout out to you guys if you got in SUI at $2.50 and rolled it up. Now is the time to take some profits. Algorand, Solana. So we're going to keep our eyes out. Link, Chainlink. We're going to keep our eyes out on these American-made cryptos, and we're going to just keep our eyes on the overall market to see what happens, man. And just stay defensive, but stay optimistic. That's my slogan for the next few months. And just try to accumulate as much dry powder as you can and nibble on these flash crashes. Nibble as we go down, because I don't want to try to time a bottom. I am looking at my volume profiles on weekly time frames when it comes to breaking, key levels, key structures. But for Bitcoin, it's really just a matter of holding the 2021 all-time high. And that's also coming in. If you look here before we get out of here, we also have, this line that we drew. This is when the bull market, to me, really started, when we started this uptrend here at the beginning of October of 2023. We came up, almost came down, touched it here, got a nice huge bounce off of it, and now we have this upper slope trend line coming in the low 70s, which is also around the area of the breakout and around the area of the 2021 all-time high. So those are the levels that I'm looking at. Also watching video above 100. These are just some of my North Stars that I'm looking at to gauge what we're doing in the markets, gauge how the the overall markets sentiment is. It's bearish right now. We do have all these tariff news, uncertainty. Trump is one day he's administering tariffs, the next day he's pulling it back. Like we don't know what's going on. We got the job market starting to show cracks. So we got something non-farm payrolls come out tomorrow. So we'll be locked in. We'll be tuned in. Make sure you guys stay locked in with me, man. And now is not the time to leave the markets. Now is not the time to stray away from the markets. These are the times the money is made. The bear market is for buying. The bull market is for selling. A lot of people, not saying we're in a bear market right now, but if we do start to come down a little bit more, if we do start to come down a lot more, remember that the bull market is for the bear market is for buying. The bull market is for selling. And if you guys stick to that, then when we have these type of events, these type of sell-offs, it won't hurt as much. You're never gonna feel good when you're selling, especially when you're making money. But like I always say, pay yourself, take profits, and nobody ever went broke taking profits. So this is FD White. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe. Come on, subscribe. Come over to the Cool Kids community. Where we drop alpha pretty much every day, no matter where I'm at. I might be driving in the car, I might be at the charts. No matter what I'm doing, if something happens or if something I need to say or get out there, I'll get it out there. And like I said, we also have the Telegram. Will be in the pinned comments below. I'll talk to you in a minute. Trade safe, be defensive but optimistic. Peace.